And then verses 10 and 11 here, we see a sad commentary. But the chief priests conspired to put Lazarus to death also, because on account of him, many of the Jews went away and believed in Jesus. We talked in another video, just one or two back in this series, about how unbelief leads to increasing sin. And we see that once again here. They didn't believe in Jesus, and they were refused to believe in Jesus, that he was the Messiah. And then when he did things that they already were conspiring to put Jesus to death. And now when he raises somebody from the dead, which is an incredibly powerful sign that he is who he said he was, they still don't want to believe. And instead of seeing that sign and saying, wow, maybe we missed it, maybe we should be paying more attention here, maybe we're not on the right track, maybe this Jesus is the Messiah that was promised. Instead, they just decided they would kill Lazarus too, because that sign was leading to a lot of people believing in Jesus. Makes me think of a few texts out of Hebrews 3:12. Take care, brothers, lest there be in any of you an evil and unbelieving heart, leading you to fall away from the living God. Or Hebrews 11:6, and without faith it is impossible to please him, for whoever would draw near to God must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who seek him. Those two quotes in Hebrews are from the ESV. Okay, and then finally, I wanted to comment on the text here in verses 42 and 43. Nevertheless, even many of the rulers believed in him, that is Jesus, but because of the Pharisees they did not confess it, so that they would not be put out of the synagogue, for they loved men's praise more than God's praise. They believed, but they were afraid to admit that publicly because of the social and political and economic consequences. In this day and age, the synagogue was the center of community life. It was the center of religious life, and it would have an effect in a big way if you were booted out of there. So they were afraid to confess it. We saw previously that Nicodemus had been coming to see Jesus, and he was kind of apparently concerned about that, and he was dancing around wanting to say anything publicly. He did eventually come around, apparently, which is great. Praise God for that. But a lot of these guys were believing, and they were more concerned about men's praise than the praise of God. And that is sad. But you know what? It's not a unique problem to the first century, is it? It was a problem before that. It's a problem after that, right up to this day, when too often we're more concerned about the praise of men than we are the praise of God.